Today's 979 data comes lessons on learning how to support your dreams, your goals, allow you to become the person that you want to become. Today I speak out wise and unwise people. There's a massive difference in wisdom. And I think that one of the good things of wisdom is that when you have wisdom, you're able to really make things happen. Because a lot of times people have intelligence, they have knowledge, but if you do not know how to use that knowledge, of course, you'll never be successful. Because I think that a lot of times the missing piece is wisdom. How to use the things that you know. I think that's the beautiful part about wisdom is that you know how to use your knowledge. That's the difference. That's the main difference between wise people and unwise people. Because unwise people are very, very intelligent, smart people. They just don't know what they don't know, and they are just not able to really put everything together to understand how they're able to use their knowledge for their own benefit. Now, I understand that some people don't have the knowledge itself because they are lazy and or maybe they just didn't find what they're capable of, or maybe they didn't find the things that really could be beneficial for them, or maybe they are not willing to create something because they just have that false belief that they need to find something to really start working on. No, you're able to start working on your knowledge, on your wisdom, no matter where you are. So today I'll share 10 things how you're able to really become a wise person and what is the difference between wise person and unwise. So number one is seek knowledge and lifelong learning. Seek knowledge. So that means that still wise person needs to have knowledge. That means that you're not able to be wise without knowledge. So you need to have those lifelong learnings. That means the experiences is learning. Because, of course, you're not able to be always at home, not do anything, not read, not develop, not learning, and become wise. Just reflecting on yourself. No, that's not how you become wise. You need to experience, you need to learn. That is important. So that means, even though I said that knowledge not necessarily means wisdom, but without knowledge, you're not able to be wise either. So knowledge and learning is very important. So that means people who are wise, they're continuously looking for opportunities where to develop themselves, where to learn, where to experience things, because then, of course, they're able to reflect and really gather that knowledge, gather the information, gather all those things that you're able to use those for your wisdom. While unwise people really often believe that they have already all the knowledge. They say, oh, I already know that. I don't need to know even more. I think that just shows that, again, this is not wise person. This is knowledgeable person, but not wise. And there's a massive difference because wise people make things happen. Knowledgeable people who know all it, they just always waiting until and blaming a lot of times things, and they just not taking action. Number two is practice reflective thinking. Now, this is where first step was really have that knowledge, gather that knowledge, gather that all the learning experience. But the second thing that is really practice that makes that wisdom happen. That means you reflect on all the knowledge, you reflect on all the experience, you reflect on all your learning, just to make sure that you're able to really become better. Because every single time you experience, then reflect on experience, what worked, what didn't work. Now, next time you'll make a very similar decision, you're able to be much, much better. So it's very, very important to have this reflective thinking because they allow you to really don't repeat the same mistakes and become better, stronger, faster. Well, and that, of course, impacts your future behavior. While unwise people really don't engage in self-reflection. They said, okay, look, I'm done. And that's why they always repeat the same mistake over and over again. And that's again, if you make mistakes over and over again, the same mistake, it might be that maybe you're rushing too fast to go back into the action rather than sitting down, putting your butt on a seat and say, okay, what do I did wrong? What do I need to do differently to make things happen? I did a mistake. I know that. I love reflection, but I know that I made a mistake as well, that I rushed towards something else too fast, and because of that, I failed again. And sometimes this is very, very important to really take a break and really reflect to find a way where you're able to improve and to learn from the past experiences. Number three is exercise good judgment and decision making. Exercise good judgment. So that means that people who are wise, they invest in decision making process. They understand, okay, I need to make decisions right. I need to make decisions right. So that means that we are looking into how we make decisions. How we make decisions. This is a big thing. Because if we do not make decisions based on our values, on our beliefs, on our vision, a lot of times those decisions will be based on our emotions. And that's what unwise people do. They make decisions based on how they feel that day. And of course, because of that, they make very impulsive decisions. And that leads to a lot of consequences. And those consequences are not that good. Not that good either. While people who are wise, they say that, okay, this is my decision making process. I reflect on my values, I reflect on my beliefs, I reflect on my vision. And then, of course, when you reflect on all the things, they're able to really say that this is aligning with who I am. This is aligning with my values, beliefs, and where I'm going in the future in the long-term perspective. Because unwise people just look into short-term. Wise people are looking for long-term perspective, because a lot of times decisions that we make for long-term really hits us hard for the short-term. Because sometimes we need to really step back one step to really get steps forward. And a lot of times unwise people are not able to make that step backwards to really make sure that they're able to succeed hard in the future. That's why people who are really business owners sometimes go back to sleep and live with their parents and save money that they could really invest their own time in building a business. And that is potentially could be seen in other people's eyes as a step backwards. But that step backwards is all what they needed for long-term success. And that is what wisdom truly means. Because people who are unwise will never make the decision to go back and really make that step backwards. Number 4 is maintain emotional regulation. Maintain emotional regulation. That means that wise people understand how important it is to regulate your emotions. How well you manage your emotions will dictate how far you can go. That's why so many successful people, when they ask them, what is the number one thing that separates successful people and unsuccessful people, they always mention emotional regulation as one of the key aspects of success. Why is that? Why is that emotional regulation is between the most important ones? Because success doesn't come from actions that you do when you're doing right. No, the success comes when you do the right thing during worst days. That means that you take action no matter how you feel. And that emotional regulation is very, very important, not to really burn the bridges with the people, and at the same time being able to control yourself, to control your actions, because consistency is the key. Because if you break the cycle, you break momentum, and you're not able to really get results, because that momentum gives so much power to people who has it. And that's why we need to work so hard to achieve it. But so many times people achieve momentum, and they quit because emotions are not in place. And of course, after that, we need to rebuild it. And sometimes we take half a year to build momentum. And now you waste that 1 year of effort because you were not able, or I am not able to really take care of my emotions. So unwise people really still make decisions impulsively, and they don't care that they make irrational decisions because their emotions not in place. Wise people always stay calm, and they're able to work and do practices that they could able to regulate their emotions better. Number 5 is show empathy and compassion. That means that people who has wisdom understand how important it is to show empathy and compassion for yourself and others. Because association is very, very important. Network is very important. Your network is your net worth. That's a beautiful saying. So it means if you learn how to show empathy, you're able to put yourself in another person's shoes. That means you become a very valuable resource. Because every single person needs encouragement. Every single person needs support. Every single person needs someone who is going to the same direction with vision, and who could be dependable and at the same time authentic. And empathy and compassion is something that really could allow people to make things better. And because of that, of course, you will become so valuable in other people's lives, and I truly believe that you will become valuable for yourself. And empathy is that we practice those empathy skill sets. That means active listening, being able to put yourself in other person's shoes, really concern for other people's well-being, and that will allow us to become much, much, much better. Well, unwise people don't care about it. Don't care about empathy. Don't care about compassion. They're just living their life the way how they feel, the way how they act. They burn the bridges, and they just say whatever they want. And I think that this is very, very important because empathy and compassion is very, very powerful tools, and I think that a lot of times is underused. Number 6 is cultivate patience. Patience. And there is a beautiful saying that you need to be aggressive with your actions but patient with results. Aggressive with your actions and patient with results. What it means? It means that we need to understand that we need to be patient when we take actions. Because there's a massive difference. I even did a lesson about it. There's a massive difference between waiting and patience. Waiting is not taking any action, just waiting and waiting and waiting without doing anything. And that is, of course, that is terrible. That is not helpful. But when you are a person who really take action and then you patiently wait for results, that is a beauty. And that's why wise people are patient. They not invest a lot of time in waiting, because waiting is just waiting for external things. Sometimes it is helpful because sometimes it's needed to wait. Because of course, if you are in the winter, you need to plant the seed in the spring, so you'll wait for a couple of months. But you are very, very, very patient at that moment as well, because you know what you're waiting for exactly, and you're waiting to really take action. You're waiting not for an external thing to happen, but you're waiting until you will be able to take action, and that's the most important part in patience, that action needs to be included in patience. And unwise people don't care about it. They just immediate gratification is the key that they're looking for. Number 7 is live with integrity. Wise people live in integrity. They know they have very strong ethical and moral principles, and that's why they make decisions. Well, again, based on their values. Even sometimes could be difficulty. Like it could be difficult to make decisions based on values. It could hurt a lot of times, but at the same time, that leads to really be honest and at the same time trustworthy. And trust is one of the most important parts of foundational things of relationships. While unwise people, they don't live based on principles. They compromise their principles, and at the same time, because they want to have short-term gain. They sacrifice their sometimes brand for short-term gain, because they think, okay, like if I will get that gain, I will live better. No, that's not how it is. Because when people who are wise, they understand that life is a long and short at the same time. Like this is a beautiful part about time. It's long and short at the same time. And wise people understand how to balance those and really understand that even though it's short, but at the same time long, we're able to build our brand. And of course, that is more and more important. Number 8 is adapt to change. That means people who are wise, they always looking how to adjust, how to adapt, how to really move towards change. Yeah, they are proactive regarding change. They are improving, getting better, becoming flexible and more resilient. And because of that, they are able to stretch their comfort zone and really mold themselves all the way. And because they're molding all the way themselves, that change becomes part of day-to-day life. It's not scary because you're always changing, you're always evolving, you're always transforming yourself, you're always adapting to different way of doing things. So rather than that change could be something that's scary, that now it becomes part of the day-to-day life, like eating. Or you eat every day, you challenge yourself every single day. You change every single day. I think that when change becomes part of the daily routine, of course, change will never be scary again. And unwise people are afraid of change. And they don't want to change. They are hesitant about change. And of course, that doesn't allow them to really stretch themselves to the point where you could even become even more wise, because the more you stretch yourself, the more wise you become. Because of course, the more experience you have, and the bigger circle, there's more experience as well. So it's very, very important that we are able to stretch ourselves. Number 9 is communicate effectively. Wise people communicate effectively. That means that they work very hard to develop their communication skills. They know that if you don't have communication skills, it doesn't matter how much you know. Because there's a saying that it doesn't matter how much you know. What matters is how well you communicate how much you know. In jobs, in business, in everything. It could be that you have the best business idea, but if you're not able to communicate how good that business is, no one will invest in your business. And it's the same with finding a job. If you do not explain how good you are for that position, no one will hire you. With everything, we need to understand that communication is the key. So wise people invest in their communication and they communicate effectively because of that. At the same time, we're able to understand that there's so many aspects of communication and working on all aspects of communication, how you express yourself, how you listen, how you understand, how you respond, how you really not react to other people, but you're able to respond. So able to really take a breather, reflect on, and really make sure that communicate and express themselves correctly. While wise people struggle with communication, they never put communication as number one priority in life. Communication is so important that every aspect of our lives will influence communication. Relationships, money that we make, the health potential that we have, the inner peace. Because communication is part as well of communication with ourselves. And that's why it's so important. And unwise people do not understand how important communication is. And number 10 is show humility. Show humility. That's a beautiful thing that wise people acknowledge that they are not perfect. They acknowledge that they have limitations, they have weaknesses, but at the same time, every single person have value of contribution to other people, value contribution to community, to group. And I think that everyone is open to really learn and give their resources. Because I think that people who are not humble is that, I'm too important to speak to somebody. But wise people understand that every single person is unique. Every single person is special. Every single person deserves your couple of minutes. And I think that every single person deserves your resources. And I think that that's the beauty of life. To be able to give as much as you have, your resources, your time, your encouragement, or your energy, your money. Because I truly believe that everything what we get on earth is not ours. We are rivers, not reservoirs. We are supposed to be rivers of energy, of money. We're not supposed to keep everything. And I think that's the reason, and I think wise people understand that. That's why they are more humble. Humility is one of the key values of them, because they know that they need to be rivers, not reservoirs of all the resources. And at the same time, allow us to understand that we are not perfect, and we're able to really help other people who are not perfect either to develop into something else. Why unwise people really have a lot of times arrogance, overconfidence, dismiss other input. They are taking too much pride in things that in their own abilities, and they really disregard other people, and you don't appreciate other people. Because I think that the most beautiful thing that you're able to appreciate other people input. I think that a lot of times when really someone gave you 10% input on your achievement, I think that you're supposed to be appreciative as they did like 50, 80% of the effort to achieve that. Because what you appreciate, they appreciate that 1% support, they will potentially give 2 or 5%. Because of course you have it say that, you just add only 1%, like you didn't help at all. I did everything by myself. Do you feel that other person will feel encouraged to do anything next time? No, it probably will be less than 1%. But if that 1% was so helpful, I really appreciate, because without you, I was not able to do that. But probably could take longer, and what you did was really great. I didn't know that part. I think it's very important. Wise people do that. Wise people are very fast give encouraging word, very fast being appreciative. Now, of course, I'm not saying about manipulation. I'm not saying that saying things that is not true, but really actually looking how other person helped, how other person was able to influence a project, influence something that really you could find something positive to say, grateful to say, appreciative to say. I think that's what wise people do. So I hope that you reflect as well on your how wise are you right now, and how wise you would love to be. And because again, wisdom is something that you're able to develop as well. Wisdom is something that you develop every single day if you choose to. Because of course there's a saying that age comes automatic, wisdom comes manually. So that means you can become 60 years old but still not have wisdom. And you can have like 20 years old and have much more wisdom than 6 years old. And it's based on your decisions, how you reflect on your experiences, and really how you develop it. And then, of course, you know exactly what you look at to make sure that you are the wise person. So I hope you choose to win, and see you tomorrow.